Welcome to the podcast Soulful Thoughts from Ireland. My name, Megan Donn, bringing you the Irish wisdom, myths and sayings of old, and learning how we can live into these in our present reality. In our first podcast, we spoke of the need for stillness in our lives, and how the land can bring us into that natural place of being still. Today, we venture into our fertile nature and the fertility of the land. In order to understand a culture, one must set aside one's own cultural and spiritual beliefs and open to a new mythological and spiritual narrative, the soul stories of beginning and of life and death. The ancient Celtic mythology does not have a Genesis cosmic tale of the light separating from the dark. Rather, it is deeply grounded in the earth and its origins. And it is the feminine who is the creator of this. Ancalach, or the wise crone or divine hag, is known to be older than time. And it is she who has created the landscape of Ireland as it is. As with all mythology, the stories can vary, depending on the shanachie, or the storyteller, and more importantly, the place they are being told. Each environment is a keeper of these stories, and has a special telling of its own, depending upon the geographical formations and the Kalak's relationship with those shapes and stones and tides. And each shanachie, each storyteller, who could also be a benfasa, or a wise woman, is gifted according to the needs of the people and the region. Ancalach is known to be of grand physical proportions, creating mountains that she poured forth from stones from her apron. She formed lochs, lakes, and rivers as she strode across the valleys that she flattened along the way. Stags and doe followed her, as did the wild pigs, nestling in for her protection every evening. A beautiful image, the animals nestling in for her protection. It is even said that at times she rode a wolf almost as large as herself. There was definitely magic afoot in this creation. And she is known to have complete mastery over the elements and the tides. All rise and recede at her command. She is the very breath and body of the land and all beings, humans included, all of whom recognized and honored her as such. And so, with this honoring, Kalak offered all creatures protection. She ensured the fertility of the land and the well-being of the people. And it is told that she taught human beings how to live in harmony with the land and with the seasons. She was also considered to be the sovereign one, who chose who was worthy of being the king. What does this mean, one who was worthy? It means he who recognized and acknowledged her feminine power and wisdom, and the breathing, living reality that she is the land. The man who could truly do this joined in intimate communion with her, protecting and caring for the well-being of all. With her power, Kalak, like the land, renewed herself through the times. So she was herself in a natural cycle of youth, old age, and youth again. It is said through the ages many kings were by her side, and her progeny was large, creating the many tribes in Ireland and Scotland. And so, with this brief earth creation, this mythological overview, we are given the very root and ground of the Irish psyche. The land is she. The feminine creative power ever renewing herself, and in being honored, balance and harmony could reign on earth. Her natural feminine landmarks through various stone figures are known in different places in Ireland, revealing and keeping these stories alive. They are still places of pilgrimage and power, which, by the way, one of these places is very close to where we stay on the Ireland pilgrimages, and so we get to commune with her often. Something I have done while here, and it is always such a special blessing to be with her and her wise and deeply compassionate vision. So what does this all mean for us today? What is alive in this for us? Going back to the sovereignty of Kalak and her choosing a man who is worthy. We women need to ask ourselves, have we or do we choose men who are worthy? That is, men who acknowledge that the land is she. Men who know that the fertility of our land is only ensured with honoring and respecting this feminine one, both in the form of the earth and in the form of womanhood. Can he listen? Can he receive the natural feminine wisdom? How do we choose our political representatives who are making policies about our earth? Are they worthy of our vote? Are our mates and partners aware of our inner Benfasa, the wise woman? And most importantly, do we women acknowledge our own fertile and wise selves? Do we consider ourselves worthy? And the men need to ask themselves, do they truly acknowledge this feminine wisdom, power, and sovereignty, not only in word, but also in daily action? What of your mothers, your sisters, your female friends, your partner, your wife? Do you really listen? Do you really allow her sovereign power, how she wants to live and love in this world, come to fruition? Do you honor and respect the earth as a living, breathing being? And perhaps most importantly, do you listen to and dance with your own inner feminine wisdom? The roots that have grown in female and male relationships are deep, and not all are wise or loving. Do we know what roots are growing our gender understanding or misunderstanding? We are now living in a time of being uprooted. We are all being given an opportunity to replant, to heartily sing a new song, to let go of the old and leap into the new. May we rise as new fertile beings with a renewed fertile earth. As she, the earth, spoke recently to me, I am greening myself. I am greening myself. May we join her, and may we also claim, I am greening myself. So I leave you with these thoughts today. Please visit me on megandon.life to see upcoming offerings for Irish meditations of the earth, courses on feminine courage, or to join the list for a pilgrimage to Ireland, either as a group or as a solo retreat. And please do join me for the next podcast, where we look at the wisdom Irish sayings, with our theme being under the shelter of each other. I wish you all good health, fertile love, and peacefulness of spirit. Slán.